Hello guys, welcome back to our Life Sciences channel. In today's video, we are going to look at the female reproductive system. Now, the diagram below represents the female reproductive system. So we are going to look at the different parts and their functions. So before we can do that, I want us to start by looking at the main importance of the female reproductive system, or the main purpose of the female reproductive system. So, what is the importance of the female reproductive system? That is the first question that we have to first ask ourselves. So, the main importance of the female reproductive system is that it is there for the production of the ova or the ovum. So, the ova or the ovum is the female gamete which has haploid number of chromosomes. Which is half number of chromosomes, which are now 23 single chromosomes. So we are saying that the main purpose for the female reproductive system is for the production of the ova or ovum. Now this ovum is haploid. And another importance is for the secretion of the female sex hormone, where we have progesterone and estrogen. These are the two female sex hormones. Okay? Now, the female reproductive system is also important for fetal development. Let's say fertilization takes place now in the fallopian tube. The fetus is going to develop inside the uterus. So, the female reproductive system is important for fetal development. Now, it is also important for childbearing or childbirth. And then lastly, it is important for the process of menstruation, which occurs monthly if fertilization did not take place. So menstruation is the release of menstrual blood and unfertilized ovum to the exterior. Okay, so now let us look at the different parts that makes up the female reproductive system and its functions. So we're going to start off by looking at the ovaries. So now, what are the ovaries? What are the ovaries? Now, ovaries are these oval glands which are situated on either side of the uterus. So we have this ovary on this other side of the uterus, and we also have this ovary on the other side of the uterus. So this is a pair of ovaries. All right. Now, these ovaries, they are surrounded by germinal epithelium. And the importance of them being surrounded by the germinal epithelium is that now the germinal epithelium are there for the protection of these ovaries. Okay. Now, let us look at the functions of the ovaries. What are the functions of the ovaries? Now, the main function of the ovaries is to produce the ova or the ovum during the process which is known as oogenesis, which is the type of gametogenesis. So we are saying that the ovaries are the ones that produce ova or the ovum, which is the female gamete. So they produce this ova or ovum, the ova or ovum, during the process which is known as oogenesis, where we are saying that oogenesis is a type of gametogenesis. And another function of the ovaries is to produce the female sex hormones, where now we have two types of female sex hormone. We have the estrogen and the progesterone. So these two female sex hormones are secreted by the ovaries. All right, so we say we have estrogen and progesterone, which are secreted by the ovaries. So now, when the ovary release a mature ovum monthly, it is going to deposit it into the fallopian tube. So what you have to take note of is that one of these ovaries is going to release a mature ovum monthly and deposit it into the fallopian tube. So it is not both of these ovaries that are going to release the mature ovum. You have to take note that only one of these ovaries is going to release a mature ovum and then deposit it into the fallopian tube. So now let us look at the fallopian tube. So now we are saying that we are looking at the fallopian tube, right? So a fallopian tube is this finger-like structures that we see here. So they are attached to the ovaries. So meaning that the fallopian tube connects the ovaries into the uterus. The fallopian tube connects the ovaries to the uterus. Right, so now the fallopian tubes are the sites of fertilization. This is where fertilization takes place. So remember I said that the ovary is going to release a mature ovum monthly. So when the ovary releases a mature ovum, it is going to deposit it into the fallopian tube, where now the ovum is going to locate itself into this position. So when the ovum is sitting in this position, it is actually sitting here waiting for the sperm cell to arrive so that fertilization will take place. Now, the question that we can ask ourselves is, what is fertilization? Now, fertilization is the process whereby now the haploid nucleus of the sperm cell fuses with the haploid nucleus of the ovum to form diploid zygote. Now, the diploid zygote is the fertilized ovum. And this fertilized ovum needs to move from the fallopian tube into the uterus. When now, okay, so the process is like this. When fertilization has taken place, the diploid zygote is going to move from the fallopian tube into the uterus, and it is assisted by the ciliated columnar epithelium, which is found lining the fallopian tube. So the ciliated columnar epithelium is the one that helps with the movement of the ovum into the uterus. Okay, so now the fertilized ovum, where we are saying that it is a diploid zygote, it is going to divide by mitosis to form a solid ball of cell, which is known as morula. Now the morula is also going to divide by the process of mitosis to form blastula or the blastocyst. Now the blastula is going to move from the fallopian tube into the uterus, where now it is going to stick into this wall, or embeds or implant itself into this wall. All right, so now the main function of the fallopian tube, we are saying that it connects the ovaries to the uterus. It is a site of fertilization, and it is lined with ciliated columnar epithelium, which helps with the movement of the ovum from the fallopian tube into the uterus. Now, let us look at the uterus. Now, the uterus is this hollow pear-shaped organ that we see here. This organ, which is opened here, is known as the uterus or the womb. So, this uterus is flexible. When we say that it is flexible, it means that it is able to stretch. So the main function of the uterus is to house and protect the growing fetus. So its ability to stretch, it means that it is able to accommodate the growing fetus. All right. So now let us look at the endometrium. Now the endometrium is the inner lining of the uterus. All right. So another name of the endometrium is known as the inner uterine wall. So this endometrium is thick, vascular, glandular, and also consists of numerous blood vessels. Where now these blood vessels provide oxygen and nutrients to the early embryo, which has implanted itself in the endometrium. So we can say that endometrium is the site where implantation takes place and the formation of the placenta takes place. Now, when we speak of implantation, is the process whereby now the blastocyst embeds or implant itself into this inner lining of the uterus known as the endometrium. Okay, let us look at the next part where we look at the cervix. Now the cervix is the small opening into the uterus. So this cervix is able to dilate or stretch during childbirth, and it also enables the menstrual blood to pass through it and the unfertilized ovum to pass through it during the process which is known as menstruation. All right, so we can definitely say that the cervix is this small opening to the uterus, and it is able to dilate in order to be to enable the baby to pass through it during childbirth. All right, the next part that we're looking at is the vagina. What you have to take note of is that the vagina is the internal structure which is found on the female reproductive system. So we are saying that the vagina is inside, not outside. So it is an internal part of the female reproductive system. Now the vagina is this muscular tube which receives the penis during sexual intercourse or during copulation. So it receives the penis and also receive the sperm cells, because now the penis during sexual intercourse is going to release the sperm cells into the vagina, whereby now the sperm cells are going to move close to the cervix so that they will be able to pass through the small opening into the uterus, then goes to the fallopian tube where they will meet the mature ovum for fertilization. But now we are saying that the vagina is this muscular tube which receives the penis and the sperm cells, and it is also a birth canal, because this is where the baby is going to pass through to the exterior or to the outside of the body. And also the menstrual blood passes through the vagina to the outside. Which brings us to our last part, which is the vulva. Now the vulva is this opening to the vagina. So the vulva is the external genitalia of the female reproductive system, and it consists of two vaginal covers which are known as the labia, where we have the labia majora and labia minora. Okay, so grade 12, you don't have to know these names as long as you know that the two vaginal covers are known as labia. So the main function of the vulva is to close the vagina So in doing so, it means that the vulva protects the internal structures of the female reproductive system. So it also protects these structures from infection. All right. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And stay tuned for our next video. Ciao.